What's going on, you guys? Hack Dark Raven here. Today I'm going to be telling you guys and showing you guys a walkthrough of the DLC in Resident Evil 7 Bedroom. So, in this DLC, you play as Clancy, and you are pretty much your main problem is Marguerite, and your main objective is to get out of the room. So, I'm going to show you guys a walkthrough and also in a achievement that you can get in the in this DLC, where you got to find all three of the rats, and in order to find those three rats, I will show you in the walkthrough. So, you won't be able to walk around until Marguerite leaves the room, and so just for now, just wait for her to leave the room. She's gonna ask you a question as well. So when she does, just answer nicely, because you can answer positively or negatively. As you can see, I answered positively, and by doing that, she leaves you alone, and she doesn't do the other thing if you answer negatively, which you shouldn't do, because you can lower your health doing that. So again, just wait for her to leave the room. And when she does, you can start doing the walkthrough. Alright, so since she's gone now, you can now get out and explore the room. So, go ahead and look at your cuff or whatever it's supposed to be and get out. So,
I gotta do something.
once you get out of the bed, the first thing you want to do is grab the lantern off the wall. So that's what I did, and that lantern allows you to see in the room because it's very dark. Now, the first time you're playing it, I suggest you pick up the spoon that she first gives you, and just start exploring the room. See if you can find anything to help you out. But looking in there, you can get the lighter, which you will need later. So keep that in stock. The next step is to go over to that clock right there and hit that clock, and when you do, the one piece of the clock will fall off, and I'll get to that later because I haven't got to that part yet because I'm too busy screwing around with this, which that part is later as well. And in order to get the last painting picture, you're gonna have to open the clock. So behind the desk right here, there is a knife. You're gonna need that for the end part of the DLC, but not now. You don't need it for anything else. I tried to prime it open with the knife, but that doesn't work. You can't jimmy it open. So, yeah. So the first rat, I should be able to, in this gameplay, I should be able to show you guys where it's at. It's in the left-hand corner of the bed. If you want the rat, it's to help you out. But again, I don't know what I'm doing. For some reason I was screwing around because I haven't done this in forever, and I firmly forgot about it. But then I finally used my head. Oh, by the way, there's a rat behind behind there. Let's pick that up. That's for 1 out of 3. Now the next step is to try to attempt to move the clock, and when that happens, the clock handle will fall off. So you want to pick that up, and I'll go over to the clock and use that on the actual clock, and that will open the clock up. And in there's going to be your painting C, and you're going to pick that up. When you pick that up, though, it's going to make noise, and Marguerite's going to come up the stairs to check on you. By the way, when you're doing this DLC, I suggest to make sure that everything that was in its place is put back in its place before you get back into the bed. Because what happens is, if you were to not put the painting back up, she's gonna walk in and she's gonna be like, why is the painting not where it was? And then she's gonna get angry, and then she's gonna throw up on you, and that lowers your health, and you could get killed by that. So make sure before you get back in the bed and wait for Marguerite to make sure that everything is put back in its place. Because again, if it's not, she's gonna question you, she's gonna get mad, and she's gonna throw up bugs on you. So, since I made sure everything was put back in its place, she's now going to come back into the room, and she's not going to be wondering what's going on, because you are everything's back in its place. So when she walks back in the room, she's gonna ask how you're doing. So as you can see, she's kind of curious about what's going on in the room. She's gonna say that both times, either if you put everything back or not. So don't get too worried. Just make sure before you get back in bed that everything is put back in its place. So she's gonna come over and this time ask you, why haven't you eaten? She's not gonna do anything just yet. She's just checking up on you. So
Come on now, eat up. I made that just for you. Don't worry.
as
I'll
you
be
can see,
back
she's
real
now
soon.
leaving, and you can then, once she shuts the door, get back out of the bed. So she left, and now I can attempt to get out of the bed. So now I'm going to resume my progress. Since I put back the lantern, I'm going to pick it back up. And we stopped at me opening the grandfather clock, which allowed us to have A, B, and C paintings. So as you can see, I'm now putting the paintings in its correct places. It's going to be like a frame on the wall, so it's just pretty easy to put. And as you can see, by doing that, there's going to be a book that opens, and it's going to give you the voodoo doll with the sewing needle. You're going to take that sewing needle and put it by the clock that you opened when the clock hand fell off. And as you can see, I'm just putting it in order again because she's going to come back. So I'm putting the painting B back up, and now I'm putting the sewing needle on there. Now what you're going to need to do though is to now check in the big clock, and it's going to tell you the time. Now if you read that note in the drawer and the desk, it tells you the same time as all the other clocks in the room, which was 5 o'clock. So what I'm doing right now is changing the time to 5 o'clock. So once I turn to 5 o'clock, what's going to happen is the alarm's going to go off and the bed's going to move. As you can see, it's now moved, and under the bed's going to be the doorway, which is going to be the escape for you to get out. And Marguerite's going to get really angry. She's going to wonder what's going on. So you're going to need to put the bed back to what it was, or else she's going to catch you and potentially kill you. So as you can see, in order to put the back where it was, put the hit the clock. So then you put the lantern back up. Make sure again that everything's back in its place, or else the same thing is going to happen as last time. She's going to get mad, question you, and throw up on you, which lowers your health. So I'm just waiting again for her to come back up the stairs and come into the room. So now that I'm waiting for her to come back up into the room, she's gonna bring another plate full of food. And if you're paying attention to the dinner, like the stuff she gives you, the first time she gives you a spoon, and the second time she's gonna give you a fork. On the spoon and fork, there's symbols, which then you use to open the door. So as you see, she's walking in with a stove. You're going to use that as well, just for your information. She's going to walk over and give you stuff. Again, though, she's going to get mad that you didn't eat, but you're not supposed to eat it because it's disgusting and your character throws up. So.
Don't that just smell like heaven?
And also, if you're wondering about the second rat, it's going to be in the food in the stove.
Someone been in
But
here?
just make sure before she came in that you put everything away. So yeah. So she's gonna tell you eat it, and then she's gonna walk back down the stairs or wherever at. So just wait for her to leave the room again, and then you can proceed on it trying to escape. So she's gonna leave the room. Now there's a fork, there's a stove, and then there's like a pot. The pot is not really important unless you want to get the rat. So there's a stove, the fork, and then there is the pot full of, looks like, organs.
Oh, God, I love home cooking.
So again, escape. Now, the second rat is going to be right here. It's going to be in the pot. And what you're going to do is just, once you open it, take the fork, not the spoon, like I did in here. Take the fork and just start eating. Now you're gonna get rid of a piece of it, and you're gonna eat it, and your character's gonna throw up. Now you're gonna have to do that in order to get the rat. So that's a second rat. That one's the one that most people miss, and I missed it the first time too. So yeah. Now we're just going to resume after she left. So as you can see, there is this that you want to read that if you want pause the video to read it, but it's telling you the order of what you want to do for the 3 paintings. So it wants to tell you to do that. So what I did was read up what it said. So don't do that. You want to put it in. It's gonna have to be in a different order. So it's gonna have to be the scorched, the person, bleeding eyes, the birds, and then the fire. And right there is what's gonna happen. So as you can see, there's the fork, a voodoo doll with a leaf around it, and then a spoon. So what I did, and what you guys should do too, is to examine the fork and the spoon, because there's going to be symbols on the fork and spoon. So the fork has a snake, the voodoo doll already shows you the symbol, which is a leaf, and then the spoon has an apple. And then what you want to do is put down the combination. So you want to put snake, leaf, apple. And once you do that, then you'll be able to open up the room. So yeah, open up that room. The last rat's going to be in this room as well. He's going to be on the top shelf. You want to pick that up. There's your final rat. So once you guys do that, your achievement will pop up. Or your trophy, if you're playing PS4. And once you open that, you'll be able to get your achievement. Now open up that with the fork and you're going to get solid fuel. Which you're going to need that in order to bust open the wine bottle or whatever it's supposed to be on the wall in the regular room. Nothing else important in here just yet. If you want, like I'm doing right now, just open up that with your knife, which that's going to be like the projector, which you're going to use the lantern for to try to get the Medusa's device to open up the thing. Use the fork in the front podium, or wherever it's supposed to be, to make the snake head. Now use the fork by twisting it around and try to make the snake head by using the fork. As you can see, I'm doing that right now. And once you do that, you'll be halfway done with that part. So once that sinks into the wall, you have the fork done. And then the last one you're going to need to do is, I'll show you in a minute. So I pick up the lantern again to be able to see. You're not going to need anything else in there as of right now. The next step is I'm putting back all the paintings. But you really don't have to, because the last part is she's going to come in and she's going to freak out on you. So you really don't, either way you're going to get seen in the last part. So what you would do is combine the stove and the solid fuel. So take that and combine it with the solid fuel, which gives you the solid fuel stove. And take the stove by opening that and then put the lighter. Now light that up. So once you open that up, it's going to blow up. There goes the wine bottles. So get the corkscrew out before, and then she's going to wonder what's going on. So pick up the stove, take that with you, put the painting back up, the regular painting that it was. Make sure everything, or like I'm doing right now, is in order. See how that drawer was open? If I didn't close that door, then she would have been wondering why that drawer was open. So make sure that's closed. You don't have to worry about anything in the other room. She doesn't check that. She just still thinks the door's locked. So just get back in the bed and wait for Marguerite. So just wait for her to come back in the room, and she's just going to check up on you one more time, and then that's going to be the final time that she's going to check up on you until you get seen. That's going to be the last part. So she's, again, going to be like, what's going on, seeing if anything's moved or not, and if you made sure everything was back in place, then she's not going to do that. She's just going to think she's imagining things. So she's going to get mad that you didn't eat, but nothing's going to happen. So just wait for her to stop eating.
So stubborn.
And stop talking.
You better eat or I'm
She's
gonna
gonna
shove
walk
it down
out,
your throat.
get back out of bed, and we're gonna resume our process. So after we got into the bed, before we got in the bed, we picked up the corkscrew. Now the corkscrew is used to open the seems to be the hooks right there on the walls. You're gonna need to open that up. So on the right hand side, there's gonna be one back there. Again, use the corkscrew on the top one to take it out. And it's going to give you that piece. And then while that's doing that, I go in that room and open that one to pick up the part. You're going to need to do this to make the Medusa head. So pick that up. Hook B and A. A was in that room, and B is in this room right here. Pick them both up. Now you want to go to your inventory and combine them much like you did with the stove. So hit that, combine A and B, and it'll make like an iron one, like the actual big one. So put the lantern in there, and then I don't know why I did that, but I did. And then now just put that in there after you combined it. And what you want to do is you're gonna flip the piece and make the Medusa head. As you can see, it does that. So what I did was I turned it and I faced it in the direction and I put it in. When that happens, the cage will open with the snake key in it. You want to pick that up. Now, if you want to pick up the lantern, you can. I suggest that though, because so you can see. Now she comes in now, so you got to be ready. And you want to equip your knife and use your knife.
Use your head.
And when she's gonna be right there, so she's gonna attack you. I tried to swing, but she got me. But if you have your knife out, you're gonna stab her right in the throat. Doing that gives you enough time to escape the room. In order to do that, you're going to just go over to the clock, like you did last time. Hit the button. The thing's gonna open, and now that you have the snake key in your inventory, pick up the snake key, open that up. The door is gonna open under the bed, and just run down and escape. And that's the end. Once you do that, your achievement's gonna pop up, like Mama used to make. And you're also, if you did the rat thing, if you wanted to, I helped you out with that. You should also have that as well.